York is Tal Heinrich, spokesperson for the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And again, Tal, thank you for taking time to speak with us.
My pleasure, John.
Where do we stand right now? Has the truce come to an end? Are negotiations ongoing? Is this where the military operations now resume?
What I can tell you at this point is that for the second time within 1 hour, the IDF has announced that sirens went off in communities surrounding the Gaza Strip. There was a successful interception about 55 minutes ago. Now, you see, according to this detail, it seems like a violation indeed of the framework that was agreed upon of the operational pause. And we will have to assess what transpired. I cannot provide much information in that respect. I will just remind you that on Tuesday, there was another violation of the pause. We saw it in the northern Gaza Strip. I think 3 explosive devices detonated adjacent to our soldiers, and then terrorists opened fire. Our soldiers responded. Eventually, we did see back on Tuesday the release of hostages. But, well, both sides continued back on Tuesday to uphold the agreement, but we will have to be very careful in the statements right now and be patient.
So I understand. So there is this possibility that this one rocket, which may not have been fired by Hamas, do we know that at this point? Because other militant groups inside Gaza do have the capability of firing rockets at Israel, and they have done so in the past.
That is very true, but we will have to wait for the IDF to make such assessments.
And this may be also an IDF question, but I'll put it to you anyway. There are those reports, unconfirmed reports, of explosions and gunfire in northern part of Gaza. Can you comment on that?
No, what I can tell you at this point is that the framework was very clear to all. We said that for the release of 10 Israeli hostages by Hamas daily, we would agree to another day of humanitarian pause in the fighting. Now, if Hamas fails to deliver, according to this framework, the humanitarian pause will stop and the fighting will resume. As our chief of staff, our cabinet, and the prime minister stated in the recent days, we are prepared for the next stage of the operation. We know that the only reason why we've seen in recent days the release of many hostages was due to the pressure that we exerted on Hamas, military pressure and also diplomatic pressure. Also, President Biden stated it, by the way, just a few days ago, that Hamas only responds to pressure. And so we will have to continue with pressure if we want to see the release of more hostages and complete the other goal of this mission, which is to eliminate the Hamas terrorist regime in Gaza.
When that fighting does resume, and it seems that will eventually happen, be it in a matter of hours or a matter of days, the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in the region. He says he has spoken with the Israeli Prime Minister about civilian protection plans when the fighting does resume. This is what he told reporters. Listen to this.
The way Israel defends itself matters. It's imperative that Israel act in accordance with international humanitarian law and the laws of war, even when confronting a terrorist group that respects neither. In my meetings today with the Prime Minister and senior Israeli officials, I made clear that before Israel resumes major military operations, it must put in place humanitarian civilian protection plans that minimize further casualties of innocent Palestinians.
Has Israel agreed to those civilian protection plans? If so, can you provide details?
John, I think it's important to note here that there is no daylight between Jerusalem and Washington in what pertains to the goals of this operation. Everyone understands that Hamas must be eliminated. Hamas can be no longer. Everyone understands that Gaza can no longer pose a threat, a terror threat to Israel. And that because Israelis will simply not agree to continue to live like that and go back to the reality that predated the October 7th massacre. And also, everyone wants to see the release of all hostages. Now, just like our American counterparts, and honestly, every person with conscience, good conscience around the world and reasoning and moral clarity, we do not want to see Palestinian civilians getting caught in the crossfire. For that end, we are investing the most efforts, maximum efforts to make sure that they are out of harm's way. And we have presented our War Cabinet presented Secretary Blinken with plans for safe zones and more humanitarian corridors and the scope of humanitarian aid and healthcare coming in the Gaza Strip with 10 cities and field hospitals, more fuel, more cooking gas over the past days. So we want to ease the civilian suffering in Gaza.
It is not easy, it is complicated, it is difficult, and Israel is held to a much higher standard than Hamas. So, that is understood. So clearly, if anything can be done to minimize civilian casualties, that is obviously a priority for many around the world. Also, as you say, it is now a priority for Israel. There has also been reporting by the New York Times in the last couple of hours. The headline reads, Israel knew Hamas's attack plans more than a year ago. And the Hamas attack on October 7 played out almost precisely to those details, which the New York Times reports the document circulated widely among Israeli military and intelligence leaders. But experts determined that an attack on that scale and ambition was beyond Hamas's capabilities, according to documents and officials. It is unclear whether Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, other top political leaders, saw the document as well. Did the document reach the Prime Minister's office? Was Benjamin Netanyahu made aware of it? Did he read it? If he didn't read it, if he didn't see it, why not?
I cannot directly comment on this particular report, but there's no doubt, John, that the October 7th massacre was a failure on our behalf. Of course it was a failure. And we are a country that, as you know, in the past, we conducted thorough inquiries. We will do it again. And we are drawing lessons as we go because we must. There's no other choice. But right now, everyone in Israel is united and very determined to complete the missions that we have defined, to bring our hostages back home and to make sure that Gaza will never pose this terror threat against us ever again.
One very last quick question. Yes, there was what appeared to be an intelligence failure, but if you read this document, the intelligence was there. It seems like it was a policy failure. And you've had a prime minister who's been in charge, who's been running Israel for the longest serving prime minister ever, 15 years. Doesn't the buck stop with Mr. Netanyahu?
We will conduct inquiries. The prime minister also talked about it. When the time comes, he will speak further.
Tal, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for being with us. Tal Heinrich there in New York, advisor to Mr. Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister. Thank you so much, Tal.
Thank you, John.